Hi there. I'm gonna wait until I have a few people joining. I hope that will be in a bit. Um, Let me just start, I guess. Um, let's wait a few more seconds. Oh no. All right. Um, so let me introduce myself. I'm Elena. I'm 27 years old and I'm from Germany. I live in Virginia right now and extended with my host family. Um, Yeah, living in the US as an au pair has always been a desire, and I'm really glad that I finally decided to take that step 2 years ago, since it was my last chance, kind of, and I'm really happy that I did it. What I like most about being an au pair is probably having a second family and that not just for those 2 years, since they will always be a part of my life now. Well, and of course, traveling through the US is pretty nice too. So I just wanted to let you know that at the end of this session, you'll have time to ask me questions and I'll try to answer most of them. I also have Sabrina on this session right now from Culture Care, and she's here to support me with all those questions today. And I want to talk about two things which are really important for building trust and a good relationship with your host family, which is honesty and communication. So, here's what I experienced myself. When I first arrived in my host family, it sometimes happened that my host parents asked me to jump in spontaneously due to a meeting that took longer that they thought, or the kids were sick and had to stay home from school. So, as an au pair, everyone knows you need to be spontaneous and flexible. And so I always helped out. But I had the feeling that I didn't really had the chance to say no. Like they kind of expected me to work anyway. So if I had no plans, I didn't even care anyway. But this one time when my host mom asked me again, and I actually wanted to go to a birthday celebration of a friend of mine and kind of hesitated to answer. Um, well, I said yes still, but my host mom noticed that something was different or wrong and took a minute to talk to me. So I just told her that I have plans and I actually would like to go to my friend's birthday celebration. So that night we found a compromise, and my host had home earlier, and I kind of got to go to this birthday celebration still a bit later than planned, but I could still attend. And after that, she told me that she always wants me to tell her when there's something that I've planned or something that is important to me that I want to go to. Um, yeah, so she always wants to make sure that we can find a solution for everyone to work. So if you ever are in this situation where you plan something and your host parents ask you to work on short notice, but you really want to go somewhere else, my recommendation is to be honest, to talk to your host parents about it so that they are aware of your plans. And yeah, maybe you can find like a solution for all of you. So don't assume that they don't care about your plans. And I'm pretty sure that your host parents also want you to have like an amazing au pair experience. Yeah. So the second point that I wanted to discuss And I need you to know, first of all, I really do love my host kids with all of my heart. And there's nothing in this world that could make me change with another au pair. But they're still kids. And so they have their tantrums and they have their fights. But when my host parents come home from work and they ask me how our day was, I would always answer the American way, like, it was good, it was all right, thanks for asking. Um, yeah, so I thought in the beginning that when they had a stressful day at work and they come home, like telling them about all of our fights is the last thing I don't want to bother them with. Um, but there have been days where I really get to the limits of my, um, yeah, my stress level, and so my host parents could tell that something was wrong and that I had a rough day, and so they asked me and they told me if there's ever something they need to know, they want to tell me, and if they ask me how our day was, they really want to know all about that stuff that happens. And so if there's really something that um, I'm concerned about or that happens like too often, we always should talk about this so that we can work on it as a team. So my recommendation for you guys is if there's ever an issue with your host kids, if there's something that you think parents need to know, talk to your parents, and you should always find like a way to talk to them and to talk about their children's behavior, since that's like the most important thing. Yeah, and I know that it can be tough. A lot of host parents are super busy, and there's never time like they come home and you kind of want to hang out with your friends. But my tip for you is if you have a hard time talking to your host parents, just write a text message or an email before they even come home, so that they're aware of the fact that you need to talk to them. Maybe you can add some points, a few things that you had struggle with or that you want to talk about. If it's the schedule or the kids' behavior, I think you just should always have time to talk about that. And some of my friends even have a scheduled meeting with their host parents every month. So in the beginning of every month, they would talk about like what happened the past month, and is there anything special this month that we need to make sure to work together. Um, and me, for example, I talk to my host parents every Sunday night after the kids are in bed. My host mom would finalize the schedule for the following week, and I would ask her if there's anything special that I need to be aware of. Or my husband always asks me if there's anything she needs to know. So those are the moments where you should really tell everything, like tell them about your thoughts, what you have issues with your host kids, or even with your friends or whatever. I think being able to talk to your host parents about everything is gonna mm, have you a really really good relationship. And this is how I kind of started building trust, and getting like a really really good relationship with my host parents, which made my year just awesome because I know that I can talk about everything with them. Yeah, so those are the 2 points I wanted to let you know about, and I think those are like those 2 points that um, are most important to me. Or every time an au pair comes and asks me for help, it's mostly about communication and honesty. And I always tell them, if you can work those out, you will have a great year. Um, do you guys have any questions? I don't see any in the chat. Maybe I don't really see the chat, but Let me figure that out because I don't see any questions right now, but that might be because I don't have it in a different window. Let me find the way to make that work. I'm very sorry. Mm, all right, now I got the chat. Um, you guys had issues to see me? Mm, how many children do you have to take care of? That was a question from Eleonora. I have 3 children to take care of. It's a 5-year-old girl, an 8-year-old boy, and a 10-year-old boy. And then I like that you guys are interacting here. You'll find each other too. Bum, bum, bum. Are there any more questions? Oops. For me, what classes did I do? Wow, that's a good question. I am nearly done with my second year. So, in the first year, I took a travel class to um, the Niagara Falls. And in my second year, I took a travel class to Nashville. And for the rest of the credits, I did museums classes in Washington, D.C. So this is pretty close to where I live. Um, then, what are the activities that you do with your children? That came from Linda. I Hmm, that's a good question. It's different. It depends on who is with me. So the boys are in school from 9 to 4, and Emery, the girl, was in school from 9 to 1. So I always had some free time just with her, and she loved to go to the playground. She had play dates with some other friends, and I would go to like Jumping Joey's. That's like a jumping place. With the boys, we normally like hung out at playgrounds and they played basketball, or we had other friends over. We have a big backyard, so we're like outside all the time. And then the girl also loves to do crafts, so we did a lot of crafts. We tried to like I use Pinterest a lot. Use Pinterest, guys. It's awesome. If you have like any issues with finding creative stuff to do with the kids, it's amazing. Um, Tips for packing: don't pack too much. I had too many clothes, and I think most of them I didn't even wear. There's a lot that I will leave here. And for me now, I'm going back after 2 years. I think I have like 4 suitcases full of stuff, and it's really hard to get everything back. So be really short on clothes. And bring something traditional from your home country. I brought a flag from Germany, which is pretty cool because we had the soccer, the European soccer tournament, and so with every game I could take the flag. And then I had a traditional dress, which was pretty cool for Halloween because they all dress up here for Halloween. Um, Bruna Caroline asked what my biggest difficulty was when I came to my host family. My biggest difficulty. It's hard because I really get along well with my host family, but talk like I said before, like talking to them and being honest to them is hard in the beginning because you don't know those people in the beginning. I mean, you just talk to them on Skype a little bit, and sometimes you just need to get to know them and how they react to certain like things. And um, it was like, for example, my mom at home. I used to be able to talk with her about everything, all of my problems with my friends. And at the beginning, you don't really know if they want to know it, if they're interested in your like private life. So it was hard for me to like feel or get to know if they really want to know everything about me. But after a while, like we talked a bit more. For example, with my host mom, like I we used to watch the same TV shows, and then we hung out a bit more. So that way I got to know her a bit better, and I kind of um, hang out with her now all the time. And we have the same like interests, and we have the same topics we can talk about. But it is hard in the beginning because you're used to live with people you really know. And then you just get into like a different family, and you have to get to know them before you can really feel comfortable acting like you used to at home. Um, Bianca asked what it is like to be away from my family on my birthday because she gets to her family on the 18th of August, and her birthday is on 21st, so a few days after she arrives. Um, it is different because every country or every family has different, how do you say that, traditions of celebrating. So, for example, for my birthday, my mom used to bake a cake for the morning. So, for breakfast, we would have cake and gifts and everything. And with my host family here, you would have the cake in the night for dinner, for after dinner. And so, my first year, it was a bit different. And yeah, um, I would have like breakfast with my host family. I mean, they would make like a special breakfast, but not like a real cake. And you would get the gifts, most of the gifts, like in the evening as well. So with my family, it was different. So it is nice. I got to spend my birthday after like 8 months. So I already got to know them a bit more. I think in the beginning it might be hard, but um, it is interesting to see, and I had time to talk to my family back home, which was nice. And everyone tried to make it special for me. So that was pretty cool. I told them that we used to have cake for breakfast when I was a child or at home. And so the next year they actually made me a cake for breakfast on my birthday, which was pretty cool. So tell them about your traditions maybe, and they will try to arrange that for you. Um, dum. No, I got lost. Are there any more questions? Dum. I'm sorry, that's a lot. So I'll try to find some more questions for me. Yulia asked if it's okay to ask your host family for the Wi-Fi password on the first day. Um, it's totally fine. I mean, this is something, internet is something everyone needs nowadays. So I would just combine it with something like, hey, I would really like to let my family back home know that I arrived here safely, and if it's possible for you to get the Wi-Fi password to like tell your family. I think this is super normal. I think I might have done that too if they haven't offered it before. They probably offered it before. Um, dun, dun. What did you wish you knew before going to the US? Nicole asked that. Um, I don't think that there's something that they didn't tell me. Um, I think we Skyped like 3 or 4 times, and we were exchanging emails a lot. So they were telling me everything, and I asked a lot of questions that made it easier too. So I think that's important. If you like, if a week went by and you haven't talked, like I would just write an email and ask how it's going, um, if the kids did anything exciting this week or something like that, to just keep in contact with your host family. How long did you need to feel home in the host family? That was Linnea Johnson. Um, it took me a while. Like I felt very welcome from day one, but to really feel home, it just takes a while to get used to another house, to another schedule, to another family, to three young children in the house. But I think like after a month, I was um, I was pretty comfortable already. Like I just started like hanging out in the living room more and in the kitchen. In the beginning, I tended to like go to my room after I was off work, just because I felt like I kind of am in the way. But I got used to like hang out more outside or in the kitchen after a while, and that really made me feel more home, being able to just hang around anywhere. Um, do you do sports in your free time? Clara Kurtz, yes, I do. I used to run. I actually ran a marathon here in the US in my first year. So I went for runs 3, 4 times a week, and I know a lot of friends who go to the fitness center, to the gym. I don't do that because I don't want to spend my money on the gym. But I have a lot of friends who do that, and they have pretty cheap options here too, like 24 hours fitness or Gold's Gym, I think. So that is like very popular. Yeah, but I used to just go for a run. So this is like you just need your tennis shoes and then you're good to go. Um, yeah. Kathleen Clark, was there ever a bad experience like with driving? Luckily, I have no bad experience with driving. I'm 27, like I already said, so I have had my driver's license for 10 years. I already drove in different countries, so I'm pretty experienced. But accidents happen, and this is why you guys have an insurance. So I think you guys are pretty good with the insurance that we have. Um, I had some friends who had like really minor accidents, like they bumped into another car or they bumped into um, a mailbox actually. But this is stuff that can be fixed, and you should always talk to your host parents first. Like, just call them right away. I mean, accidents can happen. We're just humans. We're not machines, so you shouldn't be afraid of that. Um, Olga asked, "What do you like to do when you will return to Germany?" I will actually I already planned that. I will have a really, really big brunch with all of my friends when I return to Germany, and I'm super excited to eat German bread. Yeah, we have pretty cool bread there. This bread here is different. Elena, oh, we have the same name. ask how my experience in the training school was. Do you recommend the New York City tour? I do recommend the New York City tour. Um, I've been to New York 3 times already before I came to, the US to be an au pair. So I was skeptical if I should do it or not, but I thought it's a really nice time to spend with your new friends. And, for me, just seeing all of my au pair friends, like, experiencing New York the very first time was super exciting itself already. Um I liked the training school. It was really fun. I actually met 2 of my best friends, at the training school, and I spent, like, a lot of time with them, and we pretty much did everything together for the first year after they left, uh, until they left. So, I liked it, and, I mean, the classes were okay. They were boring sometimes, but that is normal. Um, yeah. But I had a great time there, and I met really good friends, and I still am in contact with like a lot of people from the training school, and we all connected on Facebook, so you can always see what is going on in different cities as well. Like I had some friends who went to Seattle, I had some friends who went to San Francisco and Las Vegas, or all the way up to Boston. So you can stay in contact with them, and then you might be able to visit them as well. Um, Then, dun, dun, dun. How did you communicate with your host parents at the beginning? Was it difficult for you? Like I said, that was a question from Camila. Like I said, it is difficult in the beginning because you don't know how they would react, and you can't really feel like if they really want to know or not. But I would really um, I would consider to like talk to them about this, like, do you guys want to know everything? Like, should we have like a meeting every week, every month to talk about everything that happened with the kids? But I try to like always tell them, like, send them an email to tell them here, like, I had a rough day. Can we just talk about it? It is difficult, but you need to get over it because communication is just so important so that everybody knows what's going on. And that's the main part that helped me building a really good relationship to with my host family. Mm, mm, Michelle asked, how was my English level in the beginning of the au pair year? I must say that it was pretty good already since I was working in an international company 3 years before I came here. And but I I mean every au pair that I met so far um, had no issues with their English. Like it is really hard to in the beginning, I guess, to get used to it. But there was no au pair who was like, "Oh wow, it's so hard for me to communicate." Like English is the least of your problems when you get here, I think, and you get used to it a lot faster here than at home because you hear it all the time and you have to talk in English all the time. So don't worry about your English. Try to maybe read some English books or watch some movies in English with the subtitle. But I think you shouldn't be concerned about English. The normal school English you learn should be fine to get here. Where I live like 10 to 15 minutes from Washington D.C. It's called Falls Church. And I'm pretty happy I ended up there. In the beginning, I really was looking for a host family like in San Francisco or somewhere in California or in New York or Miami. This is like the spots where everybody wants to go, but ending up in Falls Church was just the best thing that could have happened to me. There's so many awesome pairs. It's a really, really good community. Um, I think I'm through with those questions up here. Let me check if there are any new questions. Mm-mm-mm. I think that's it so far. Well, thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate you joining me today, and I hope I answered most of the questions. I will check the chat again and will answer all the questions in the chat after. Yeah, thank you so much. I hope you liked it. And I will also maybe put my Instagram link in there so you guys can follow me there. I will be on my travel month in 2 weeks and we'll do all the West Coast. So maybe you guys are interested in that. Yeah, thank you so much. Have a great day, guys.